Hello, this is Tony here in my kite shop. Today I'm going to start building a 20-foot spin sock. This spin sock will go very well underneath your 30 square foot kilip foil kite that many of you built last year at the Jamestown maker class. Okay, and for those that built the 60 square foot version of that kite, I'll offer up a 30 foot long version of this spin sock. Or for people who, let's say, have one of my 20 square foot high wind 20 kites, and there's a lot of those out there. If you're wanting some line laundry to put underneath that high wind 20 on a windy day, this 20-foot kite, or spin sock rather, would be an excellent choice for that, because the way I build my spin socks, well, I always overbuild everything. This will hold up well in high wind, okay? And that 20-foot high wind 20 will easily pick this up in a high wind. No problem at all. Okay, so there's that option too for you people who've got a high wind 20 out there. Or if there's someone out there that you've got some other kite that you're looking for a spin sock, a 20 or even a 30 foot, come on down. Let's build a spin sock. But once again, we're going to have limited seating, so we still have to figure that out. We're probably looking at maybe 12 seats available at the art center. Okay, so anyway, let's get on with this. What have I covered? I forget what I've even covered so far. So far, it's a 20-foot spin sock. There are 8 panels in this spin sock. Okay? So it's a good fat spin sock. It's a nice fat spin sock. You got 8 panels in it, so you got 8 color choices. Okay? Sadly, unlike the kite drawings that we were able to send back and forth to kind of color up to choose where all the different colors were, I do not have a drawing type program that I can color up and show that. I don't have that. I'm not that good of a drawing person. But if there's someone out there that does, I'd be glad to take a drawing like that. But I don't have one where I can show an isometric drawing of a spin sock. Okay, I just don't have that. So you'll have to kind of decide on your own what the different 8 panels would be. Okay, so you'll have to kind of do that in your head or jot it down on a piece of paper or something, and then let me know if you need what you'll need in the way of color panels, like 2 red panels, 2 white panels, 2 black panels, and 2 green panels, or 4 white and 4 black, or whatever, okay? But that's how we'll have to do that. But so that's how we'll have to do our color choices. I don't have any fancy drawing program like we do on the kites. Okay? So let's get on with the tools that you're going to need. Of course, you're going to need a sewing machine, just like before. A sewing machine in good working order. Good working order. Please know how to run your machine. Know how to work your machine. Okay? Know how to thread your machine. That's important. Threading the needle is important. You have to be able to thread that needle. I know last year several people lost a lot of time trying to thread the needle. Either their machine, the automatic needle portion thing just would not work, or they had problems trying to get the thread through the eye of the needle. I mean, I have a my FAF. It's $1,000, $1,100 machine. It's got one of these so-called automatic needle threaders. You run the thread over here, you run the, but that needle threader only works, I don't know, half the time. So I find myself, I get one of these cheap little needle threaders here that you can buy at Walmart, or you buy them in a package. They're not very much. You get like 2 or 3 of them for $3 or $4 now. There used to be 3 of them for $1. And you just, and it threads it. It pulls your thread right through the eye of the needle for you. So we all have problems threading needles. So as a backup, get some of these. Please, get some of these. Okay? So have a good working sewing machine. Have a needle threader. Know how to work your machine, how to thread your machine. You might want some seam tape. I would say I use almost no seam tape on my spin socks. I'm trying to think if I ever do on these. I might. I just can't think when I do. If you want to have some seam tape, go ahead and buy some double-sided seam tape. Once again, you can get it at Joann's. I think you can buy it at Walmart. I get mine from Sellrite. It's only like $5 or $6 for a roll of it. Buy the stuff for vinyl, but they charge like $16.95 flat rate shipping for whatever you buy. Whether you buy one roll or if you buy $1,000 worth of stuff, it's $16.95, I think. So, you know, if you want double-sided tape, go ahead and buy some. Or you probably got some left over from last year. Okay. You might want to bring a seam ripper. Might need a seam ripper. Okay. Another thing I just want to go over. We will be putting a simple flip over hem on 3 sides of each panel, which is part of a lot of the sewing. Let me start on here. We're going to start here. We're going to come all the way down, go down, and then come back up here. Simple flip over hem. Now, over the years, I have accumulated all sorts of, these are just some of them, these little hemming tools. They're supposed to put a nice rolled hem on your fabric. Well, I have yet to find one of these that work well with ripstop. They just don't work with ripstop. Ripstop is apparently just too crisp of a fabric for it to work with. They work fine with cotton fabric, polyester fabric, satin fabric. I had hopes for this one here. It almost worked good with ripstop. But the ripstop just kept on folding. So I just don't use these on ripstop anymore. I got a whole drawer full of them. But they do work on fabric okay. So I use them for that. So when I do these simple flip over hems on the on these, I just kind of use my fingers. Works good. So I'll show you how I do that when we get that far. Okay, now another good thing about a spin sock is these are not precise instruments. Unlike our kites, the Killip kites, where we had to take a lot of great care when we put our keels together, put our keels together when we sewed our tops to the ribs. When we sewed up the back end, we had to get all that nice and straight and everything squared up. Spin socks, not at all. when we go to put that rolled hem on there, we try to get about a 3/8 of a flip over, but it don't have to be exact. It does not have to be exact. Try to get close, and just get as close as you can. And we don't hem this leading edge. Just get it as close as you can. And then when we go to sew the all the panels together, it doesn't have to be a perfectly straight sewed edge, although you'll end up getting a fairly close edge on there, or seam. But these are not precise instruments. Okay? So you don't have to worry about being really precise. And that is why most of you should be able to put this together in one day. So I'm thinking we only need to do this, we should only allow at the Art Center 2 days to do this, because not everyone will complete this in one day, especially if you're a fairly new sewer, haven't done a lot of sewing. 2 days. I can, not counting, it took me, see, I've already cut out the panels. I spent maybe 2 hours cutting out the fabric because I was watching Netflix. Took me about 2 hours to cut out the 8 panels. If I were to sit down and just start sewing, it'd probably take me another 5 or 6 hours maybe to finish up the kite. So yeah, with most of all the other work being done for you at the class, I'll have the bridles done for you, the trim, cut the length and everything. Certainly one long day. You should be able to get this done. Certainly finish it up in the second day, no problem. So that is kind of it. I guess I can go over briefly on this. I've already got it marked up too much already. Let me kind of go over this. Get this here. So this is kind of what a spin sock panel looks like. They're kind of a, what is this, a trapezoid? So what you'd call that? Straight lines. So on a 20-foot spin sock, it's 20 feet from the leading edge back to the tail, 20 foot. Our leading edge is, in this case, it's 22 inches. Right here, that's 22 inches. So from here to here, it's 20 feet. Our vent, the area that is opened up to allow that creates that turbine, it's 22 inches, at least on mine. That's how I make them on mine, 22, 22. If it's going to be a 30-foot spin sock, this would be 33 and 33. Okay. Our main body of the spin sock, in this case, is 14 feet from here, from the back to here. Okay. And then the tails, what I call the frilly part, from here back is 6 feet. Okay? That's 6 feet. So, once again, we put that flip over seam. Of course, you do this ahead of time on each panel. We're going to put a flip over seam all the way down. Come down here. You're going to kind of stop, roll the end of each of these little tails over a couple times, sew those, and then continue on rolling that flipped seam all the way down to here. And we do not put a hem on that front edge. And the reason we kind of roll that up and sew that down is that end takes quite a beating. Takes quite a beating. Okay. And that just helps keep it from fraying out quick. Okay, so on our panels, I will put some markings on here that tells you to stop sewing. So when we start sewing our panels together, you'll have marks that's going to tell you where you're going to start sewing, let you know where to start sewing your panels together. So when you start sewing your panels together, you only sew this 14-foot, oh no, yeah, this section here together, where one panel to the next. These sections here don't get sewn together. Eventually, these get all connected. The leading edges all get connected. But in between here, no, those don't get sewn together. Only this main body panel. That makes sense? I know I say that a lot. Okay? Alright, so anyway, I think that's it for the introduction. I like to say, do you have any questions? But you can't ask questions, can you? Trying to think, is there anything else I should add? I'll be using my FAF machine. Did I say that already? My FAF machine. Oh, for thread, I like using that 100% polyester thread, Gutermann thread. Is what I really like. That's good thread, and that'll work fine on here. Once again, you want about 6 to 8 stitches per inch. If you hit 7 on the nose, that works good. I know some of there are machines out there you can dial it right into how many stitches per inch you want. But anyway, I think that's about it for right now for this video. The next video will be my starting to put the seam on all these panels. Okay? So, alright. We'll see you soon. Bye.